Hey everyone, just wanted to let you know we're fixing to do a project out here at the shop. We are going out here and I see Jet, he's sitting here at the door and he's in the sunshine warming up. It's probably about 40 degrees or it may be freezing out here, but it's pretty cold. Anyway, we're gonna do a project in the shop. We're gonna build a couple sawhorses. I have already got two sawhorses, but as you can see, these two sawhorses are in use and they're holding up a ping pong table. And today we're actually going to use this ping pong table as our workbench to create a couple of sawhorses. Now we're doing this because I'm putting some OSB and some plywood on the floor, and so on one of my properties and on the walls, and so I need a couple of sawhorses, and I don't want to disturb this because I know that there's some that are still playing with it. So follow along with me and we will go from here. Okay guys, our first step is to cut 7 2x4s 32 inches long. 32 inches long. These have to be pretty accurate. So I'm going to use a cut-off saw for this. Okay, once I get my first one, I just literally lay it on there and it's my pattern. First one, now that will always be your pattern. Don't keep changing your pattern. There's 1 and 2. Now this one will be part of your I-beam because it's going to be about 1/8 of an inch short. These are 96-inch 2x4s, and so when you cut two 32s off that are exact, you're going to have one that's just a hair short because of the width of the blade. So use it, set it aside, but use it as part of your I-beam construction. Lay that on the ground. This project takes 2.5 2x4s for one sawhorse. Show you what we got here. So we've got a pile of legs. We've got 8 legs, and we've got 6 pieces for I-beams. All right, we're going to take these over here to our makeshift table where we are ready. And these are pretty simple to make, guys. You can use them, do them with a hand saw, a skill saw, or a chop saw. We're going to go and do one extra step on ours. We're going to walk you through the process. All right, guys, so we've got our 3 32-inch pieces for our I-beam. We have our 4 32 inches for our legs for our I-beam sawhorse. First thing we want to do is take a Sharpie and we're going to mark A, B, C, and D. Now that's going to come in handy in a little while when we get to that step. But the first thing I've got to do, see this split in this wood? This is going to be the bottom of my I-beams, but I'm going to repair that by placing a screw in it back about 2.5 inches. Closing that gap and making sure that that gap doesn't give me a problem later on. Now that's at the bottom of my I-beam, so that will not be a problem when I go to put this thing together. All right, first things first. I've got my 2 boards sitting here. I'm going to just place my bottom part of my I-beam in between them to hold it. I'm going to put it right in the center. I'm going to put it right in the center, and I'm going to put some screws in my I-beam. and I'm gonna make sure it's good and straight. But I'm gonna do this back about 3 inches so I won't split it out too badly. All right, it's already splitting. Okay, this little bit's gonna give me fits. I'm using deck screws with a star bit, and these star bits with 3-inch screws. And these star bits are, it's brand new, it's got a coating on it, so it wants to stick into my screws that are coated as well. All right, flip it around to the other end. Let's go back here about 4 or 5 inches. So you want to go back far enough to where it doesn't split out the back of your board. Put it right in the middle. There's that one. And then for good measure, I'm going to stick one right in the center. All right. Now, that's the bottom half of my I-beam, so you can see that's a T. All right, you see the T there? All right. Now I'm going to lay it between my boards, and I'm going to grab my other piece. You can go ahead and start your screws, but you want to move them back about 4 or 5 inches here, especially if you have a knot on the end. Make my I-beam. Okay, as you can see, there's my eye right there. There's my eye. I'm gonna flip it around. I'm gonna get it in the center. Now you can see this one's a little bit shorter. It doesn't hurt that it's a little bit shorter. It just lets you know that they're not gonna be equal when you cut off the first 32 on the board. They're not gonna be equal. Okay, put one in the middle. All right, now I have my eye. The I-beam, and that is super, super strong, guys. That's going to be supporting quite a bit of weight. That is super strong. And so what you'll do is I am going to mark my A, B, C, and D. I'm going to mark it on my board. A, B, C, and D. Now, I do that for a reason. I'll show you when we get there, but you're going to want to, if you ever take it apart, you're going to want to put these legs right back where they were. All right? So I'm going to start with my A and my B. I'm going to lay this down. My A goes to my A, and right at the edge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle back, and I'm going to butt it up against this side. I'm going to butt it up against this side, and I'm going to put a screw right here in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and start that screw in the middle. I'm going to stick it in here up against the top. I'm going to do it flush. All right. Now, that's pretty wobbly. I'm going to take another screw. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go this way with it. Crazy. Okay, there's my first leg on my Sawhorse. Okay. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to take my B. And I'm going to do the same thing with my B that I did with my A. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it around so that I don't have to fight it so much. Under it like that. Take my B. Get a couple screws started. Notice how I'm angling my screw. Alright, I'm going to take and I'm going to put it in. Take and put the other screw in. I'm going to take and I'm going to put one in this way, into that bottom board. Okay, there's the first half of my Sawhorse. Now, as you can see, I've got the I-beam. I've got this one up under this 2x4. It's really supporting it. It's screwed down to this one. It's got screws in it. It's got 3 over here. Now, turn it over. Turn it over, and I'm going to do my C and D legs. Alright, I'm going to take my D leg, do the same thing. I'm going to go about the same distance from the edge of the board, just line them up, eyeball them. First things first, I'm going to start my screw at an angle. I'm going to line it up there, close, make it flush against the I-beam. Come on. Get it flush against the I-beam. That's going to suck that down. Put this one in. There's that one. Now, I'm going to put one here. There's my D leg. I'm going to take my C leg. And now we have our Sawhorse. Now that Sawhorse is a very, very structurally strong Sawhorse. If you want to, you can place a cleat between these. It won't really matter one way or the other. It's pushing down more than it is pushing out, but you put a lot of weight on this and these could spread. So that you could always tack a little board on each side if you wanted to, and then you could tack some here if you needed to. But if you leave them like this, then one will stack on the other. But now people are wondering why the C, the D, why the C, the D, the A, and the B. What we're going to do here is I'm going to get you down here. Okay, so why the A, the B, the C, and the D on these legs? These legs are designed to stay in the same place that they are. Now, it really doesn't matter, but see how these things sit on the ground right here? See how they sit on the ground? We're going to take these legs back off in a second. We're going to adjust this. So how do we do it? So as you can see, the point of contact is the corner of this board. All you have to do, lay you a piece of wood down, make you a line on that one. Make you a line there. You want to make sure you're on a flat surface when you mark them. There. And here. Now, what we're going to do, that gave us our angle parallel with the floor. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take the legs back off. We're going to take them back over to the chop saw, and we're going to cut that angle with the chop saw. Now you can do that with a skill saw, you can do that with a hand saw, but if you got a chop saw, I highly recommend it. Move my box of screws. Take my Sawhorse, put it back up here on my table. And we're going to take the legs off so that we can go back and adjust the height, the angle for the floors. Just take your The reason we numbered them is so that, or lettered them, is so that your holes line up exactly. Now, if on your next set, you'll make them 1, 2, 3, and 4 instead of A, B, C, and D. There's C, so we know where it's going to go. When we get off the, we know where it's going to end up going. Man, this is ridiculous, this little thing. Pain in the butt. My other one is on the job side. Really and truly, I guess I don't even have to take them all the way out. Okay, took the legs off. I'll flip them over. One more. If I can get the... Alright. There's that one. Alright, let's go take them. Now you can see we've got them marked. It's the smallest one, not that one, but it's the smallest one. We're going to take them over to the cutoff saw. And we're going to set our blade. And we're going to cut all 4 of these to the angle that we need, okay? Follow me. Okay, so let me get you over here, show you what we've got. So, we're setting up the saw, and what we're going to do, if you start at 0, and you lay your board on here, you can turn it to where your blade will be in line. You can turn it where your blade will be in line with your mark. Just so happen that mark is 15 degrees. You see the line there? Pretty close, okay? So now, take my other two legs. Now these, because they're the opposite way, I'm gonna have to go 15 degrees the other way. Now, you want to cut these right on that line. All right, there's that one. Now let's take the A leg, do the same thing. Okay, I've got all four of them cut. Take them back over to my workshop, put the screws back in, and let's see how it sits on the ground. All right. Now you've got your Sawhorse. Let's see how it sits on the ground. Now you have your Sawhorse, and we can see it doesn't wobble, and it sits on the ground much better. So now you have your Sawhorse, and it sits on the ground. See how the legs are now flush? The legs are flush. It doesn't wobble. They're all touching the ground evenly, and that's how you mark the legs. Remember, A, B, C, and D. Mark the legs, cut them off, put them right back where you got them. This little Sawhorse makes for a pretty good seat. It's pretty strong. That'll probably hold 600 or 700 pounds, and then we're going to make another one.